Mr. Nobody here again. So after having seen few, not so many to be honest, a few videos on YouTube about the Mission 1 Pro low light performance, some comparing different cameras, mostly with the DJI Action 6, some also with the Ace Pro 2. Well, I decided to go and test the Mission 1 myself. I didn't do comparison, despite, yes, I do own Ace Pro 2, but I don't have it right here with me. I'm abroad for work. But in any case, I don't think I would have made a comparison video, because to me it doesn't make much sense. The Ace Pro 2 and the Mission 1 Pro are two different cameras. Different purposes, different target. The Ace Pro 2 is far much more a camera for immediate posting or immediate video release without really processing, or unless very little fine-tuning here and there with proprietary software. While the Mission Pro 1 is instead aiming to, I don't want to say exclusively professional, but professional people that like to do processing with video editors like DaVinci or Premiere Pro. So yeah, the comparison I don't think is really fair. I'm not really interested. I'm also not really planning to use the GoPro Mission 1 very much for night shooting. In fact, I purchased the Mission 1 Pro mainly for diving underwater, because the Ace Pro 2 is a bit giving a bit too fake videos in my opinion for underwater, where underwater indeed you can have low light. So I wanted to explore a bit more how the Mission Pro 1 behave in low light. I played a bit around with the settings to understand, and I take also the opportunity to understand the use of the gimbal, because the second purpose for the GoPro Mission 1 that I want to use for is the cinematic video, or learning to do it. I'm not a videographer, I'm just start learning, so I think it's from what I understood, to have decent videos you should use the ND filter with the gimbal and fix the shutter speed to twice the frame per second. So I don't want to discuss about that at the moment, but let's say also for my own reference, I went out, I took a bit of video without a gimbal, with gimbal, playing around with some settings here and there, with the log, with the shutter speed, with a bit with the zoom, to understand a bit more the camera. That was the only purpose. There was some findings. I saw the videos this morning. There was some interesting, some findings that I may use for underwater, in case I will have situation where the light is very low, like in the lakes, or let's say beyond 25-30 meters. I will not unfortunately able to test the underwater until July, because I'm abroad. As I said, you will see I'm in Baku working, so I have to wait to go on holiday for the underwater. But anything that is helping in understanding the camera, like what I did last night, I think is very welcome, because the Mission 1 Pro, it's a camera that you have to learn to use. So anyway, I think I talked enough. Let's see how it went last night, and after that I will have some consideration based on what I experienced last night, and what eventually I have to experience even more. So I'm going to test the camera on low light. Now I'm without gimbal. I will try also with a gimbal. It's nice mode now. 25 frames per second, because I'm in European standard. Well, I'm in Baku, but I use European standard. shutter speed auto. Later I will try with 1/5. Cinematic blur adaptive. Low sharpening, and microphone from DJI, and what else? Cinematic color. I will try with the gimbal. I will try with log as well. But this is how it is with this setting. It's not very dark, but quite dark, I assume. So let's see how it is. And then I will change the setting later on and put the gimbal on. So I'm still without gimbal, with the same setting as I said before. Cinematic color, and very curious to see how it's gonna look on the screen. Looks pretty decent to me, even if it's not really dark, in the sense it's not night yet, but in a little bit we're gonna go down quite a bit the light. So when maybe the light goes a bit more down, I will put the gimbal. So now the shutter speed is 1/5, not automatic. Of course, when you fix the shutter speed, the motion blur setting, it's nothing can be done on it, because yeah, the way to adjust the blur, cinematic blur, is by changing the shutter speed. But once you fix it, well, since I'm shooting in with the shutter speed 1/5 and frame per second 25, that should be the typical cinematic setting according to the rules. So now I will change, and I will put the GP Log 2, and then I will do the color grading in post-production later on, to see if there is any benefit or not. Okay, now same setting, but at this time I put the GP Log 2. I will have to do the color grading later on. So what I see now on the screen, of course, is pretty sad, I would say, because its colors are very poor. I think I will use the Creative LUT from GoPro. GoPro has two LUT, the so-called technical and the creative. The technical, my understanding of the technical is that you have to add something after, other LUT after the technical. The creative should be theoretically be allowing to remain with that without further processing, for a bit quicker processing. I want to be quick, so very busy. By the way, for whoever is curious, I'm in Baku, where I'm working already for a few years. That's what is called the Boulevard of Baku, where in this summer started.
and of course there is a lot of people. It's Saturday night, so here there is small attractions, and there is a lot of colors, a lot of lights, as you can see. It's a very young society, I must say. I'm still in log, by the way. Now I will go back in color because I wanna try. Don't mind about the framing, because that's more to test the camera. But on the color, here's the pirate boat. I want to try the zoom now twice, so to see if it works also with the low light. So now still without gimbal, but I put the zoom. I'm not sure if the quality of the video will deteriorate or will remain nice, but I will now try to leave the zoom at 2x2, but now I go back to the cinematic color rather than the D-Log and see how it is. Okay, now cinematic color is getting darker, as you can see. We will go a bit on the seaside. I still have the zoom by 2. That's a nice beautiful building, and they are preparing actually here, just a few info. This is normally a very nice big fountain, but here they are preparing for Formula 1 that we're gonna be in September, so they already start preparing. Now I will go to the seaside, to the Caspian seaside, and I will put the gimbal on and see, take away the Hypersmooth, and then we see how it looks. Okay, so now I'm with the gimbal. I'm not doing the ninja walk, so I'm gonna be a bit shaky for that. The main point is that here I took away the Hypersmooth. The Hypersmooth is 0. The shutter speed is 1/5, because being with a gimbal I can push as much as I want, as long as I want. Let's do cinematic. So here it's getting darker, as you can see. So I'm not sure how it's gonna look. I will try now a bit of the kind of ninja walk, which is maybe was a bit better. I will try to minimize the effect, but it's pretty dark here, as you can see. So I'm very curious to see how it's gonna look. By the way, I think you're already clear, but I have the, it's pretty dark here, as you can see, almost night, especially under the tree. It's dark. I'm not trying to make a nice movie at the moment, so it's more about the image quality rather than the visual content, I would say. But what I want to say, don't remember anymore actually. getting darker and darker. Let's go back on the seaside. I will try to put now but here, I mean, with the gimbal, I don't think there is really the point to put automatic shutter speed. Well, maybe we can do. Let's do it. Okay, now it's automatic shutter speed. Is any difference? I don't know. Here in front you have the Caspian Sea. Here it's still dark, as you can see. Some light. Let's go and walk more into the dark to see how it is. Still getting darker and darker. I don't know if there is any difference with before the 1/5. Oh, I didn't put any cinematic. I think adaptive, I believe. Let me check. Now I bit myself. Yes, it was adaptive. It was adaptive, the thing. Still on the gimbal. I'm not sure how you see my face. Here is very dark. Here is I'm getting under the light, so I think you may see me much more. I'm still with the automatic shutter speed. I will now turn the shutter speed to 1/5 again to see if my if there is any change on how I look, my face, because I understood from others that there is a lot of desaturation on the night mode. Let's see if I give more light, if it's getting a little better. Okay, now I'm on 1/5 shutter speed. I don't know if it is any better whatsoever. I have no idea. And now you can see it's getting pretty dark, pretty night. Let's see. I will try now again with I will turn a bit to show you the very dark side, and I will try again with the zoom to see if we can see the a bit better the flame towers that are landscape of Baku. Now they put the light during the night. I'm not sure. I think for the action cam they are a bit too far, but I will try. And then I will put a bit of log. So this is the zoom. You see the tower there in front. They changed the color. It's the color of the Azerbaijan flag. I have the impression, looking at the little screen, that with the zoom the image quality is getting worse. I may be wrong, but that's the impression that I have. So now I go back to no zoom and see if that situation improves. Now there is no zoom. I think it may look a bit nicer. I think it's a bit annoying that you cannot change the zoom while we're still recording, so you have to stop and change the zoom, but I guess that's what it is. I will now go with the log on the gimbal and see how it is. And I think I did almost all the testing by now, I guess. There we go. This is a very dark area, actually. These trees are looking, by natural high, extremely dark. On the screen they seem quite illuminated, actually, with the D-log. So now we go back with the D-log. Seems to be quite good, actually. I would say, with the D-Log on. I may even consider to have a constant D-Log on, at least for the night. We'll see. During the day, most likely yes. I have a bit of question mark on underwater, if I should keep the D-Log on the water or not, but I will test in 1 month and a half. A bit of myself in D-Logs, always with the gimbal. I'm not sure if it is normal, but one thing that I notice is that it's pretty slow in changing the position. So I believe I will have to set up a bit better the speed of the motors of the gimbal, because it's pretty slow. I saw instead that people online were much faster. Here is getting very dark, very dark. But looking at the screen here with the D-Log again, looks far much better. So yeah, I wanted to do this test. I own also a Ace Pro 2. I don't have it here with me in Baku. I have it at home. But in general, here is very dark. Because I have the light in the back. In general, I'm not a big fan. Here it's very dark as well, but there is less light on the back, so my face seems to be a bit more illuminated. There is a bit of a HDR issue, I think. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of comparison, really, between cameras that are so different, especially not in terms of, let's say, hardware different in terms of sensor, not for that, but because of the setting. I mean, what I do realize is that the GoPro Mission 1 has a huge amount of setting, even in the night mode. And I don't think it's fair, for sure much more than Ace Pro 2. So I don't think it's fair to compare one camera that has a lot. I didn't stay, probably 60 centimeters actually. So maybe I'd be a bit out of focus, but I don't think it's fair really to compare a camera that where you can set very little by yourself with a camera where you can set, I don't want to say everything, but a lot much more. So this is not a camera for, in my view, and that's why I actually bought, and I'm happy so far with the Mission 1 from what I could see. It's not a camera that you buy to shoot and post on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube without processing. I believe I will see in the next months that the Mission 1 Pro has huge potential, much more than Ace Pro 2, but requires some effort. If you are not interested to spend that effort, because for you it's you just want to take a quick video, then I believe that's not the camera for you. And when I bought Ace Pro 2, I was like that. I was not so much into videography, I was much more into photography, and I enjoyed the post-processing of photography, not that much, not heavy post-processing, but some post-processing I enjoyed. And now I want to do the same. Let's go here, it's pretty dark. I want to do the same with the video. So that's why I'm dropping the Ace Pro 2 and I'm going to use the Mission 1. It's gonna be a long road because for me, yeah, it's all new, color grading, all the software, so it's gonna be for sure learning curve. I will have a lot to learn on how to use properly this camera, but I think after a while the result will gonna be far much better than the Ace Pro 2. So of course it takes effort, but it is for a pleasure I'm doing it, not because I have to, but because I want to enjoy and learn something new. One of the critics also that has been made to GoPro is the lack of desktop dedicated software, on the contrary of what Insta360 has, for instance. But yeah, the fact is that here you are supposed to do, if you want to be quick, if you want to be quick, you have quick, right? On the phone or on the tablet, but otherwise on the computer you are supposed to use more serious programs, like I will use Premiere from Adobe, but you can use DaVinci or whatever. That's because this camera is not for a point and shoot like the. Anyway, I think I talked enough. I will now. Very dark now. Let me turn the camera on and the last few minutes, and then we'll see on the computer how it goes. Now I'm back in cinematic. It's very, very dark, much darker than before, as you probably can see. I'm on the gimbal, and I have still 1/5. Actually, now probably just the last test is to put with the gimbal the auto shutter speed. Let me try. Okay, now I'm in auto shutter speed with the gimbal, and this is the ice cream guy. They are like magicians. Curious to know if the auto shutter speed it is doing better than the fixed shutter speed. In principle, 1/5 with a 25 frames per second should be the ideal combination, and should keep the well, here it's automatic, but I see that is using 150, 160, so it's adapting based on the light available. I see. That's nice. Actually, that's the nice thing of the GoPro, that you can see these parameters on top. So let's see how it goes. I believe 176. I believe we can call the night. With this last piece, I believe we can call the night. Now here there is another attraction. It's going to be a long movie. Okay. Okay, I will have to, by the way, beside the image quality, I think I will have to learn a lot on how to use the gimbal, also during the day, to make this cinematic look, all the options of the gimbal. On top of the video processing, I have to learn also how to make a video, because what I do realize is that making videos It's completely different, of course, than making pictures. The way of framing is different. What to see, what to do is completely different. So I will spend quite some time in the next month, year, to learn a lot. Okay, here is very dark. As you can see, here is very dark. I realize only now, I'm still learning, that I forgot to put the extension at the bottom of the gimbal. That would have allowed me to do my kind of vlog with a bit more distance, so I would have been a bit more in focus. But here is so dark. Let's try now. And now I have a bit of the extension at the bottom of the gimbal, the tripod part, that make it more distance, a bit easier to. So I think probably now I'm a bit more in focus, which should be a good thing, I believe. Yeah, that's learning, learning. So next time gonna be better, I hope. I believe now I have enough material to do all the testing that I wanted to do, and if not, I will do it again, another tour in the night, another day. But yeah, compared to before, I believe now it's pretty obvious that it's now it's really dark night, a lot of lights around, but you know, this is not a night vision camera. That's probably one of the things that I appreciate from GoPro. Yeah, that is not trying to make light where you know it is. It's dark. You want to see something. You want to have a bit of a vision, but you also have the understanding of how dark it is. Ace Pro 2, in my opinion, I light too much, push too much, and fake. The same as I said happened underwater. So, well, I hope I will have some homework to do with the camera, and then I hope it's gonna be a nice video coming out. Well, what I see from this little screen, I'm pretty satisfied so far. But let's see on the proper screen later on how it is. Again, see the difference when there is light in the back. Good night and have a nice night. So I'm not sure if you managed to watch it all. It was quite long in the end, but you know, I did a lot of different settings and things in case. I think probably it was better. I think I would have done the same, jump from section to section to have a few seconds to understand how it is. And now I wanna also for my own record for the future, to keep a memory of what I experienced, I want to have some considerations here. Okay, so in terms of low light, so one thing is clear. The low light mode without the gimbal is fine as long as you leave the shutter speed in auto. If you put the shutter speed according to the cinematic rules, you need definitely the gimbal. It is not acceptable. The quality of the video is too shaky without gimbal. That's number one. Number two, in the night mode that is 4K, the zoom, 2x zoom that is supposed to be probably in 8K without quality loss, it's also a no-go. No zoom in low light mode, definitely not. The cinematic color, it's okay, it is not bad, but I have the feeling that the log 2 with the LUT is better. Now, I used, for simplicity, because I wanted to have a bit more comparison, a bit more equal between the with log or without log, I used the creative LUT from GoPro. GoPro has also the technical LUT where you can, it's supposed to
be a bit more flat, so you can intervene more. I think it's worth to use the LUT technical and play a bit around, not that much, but I think the result will be far much better. The other thing important is that when it's really dark, there is a little piece of the video where there was almost no light, artificial light from poles or shops or restaurants. Then you really see that the camera is struggling. You really see that the noise is coming up, and there is a lot of denoise going on. And in the low light mode, you cannot intervene on the level of denoising. So you can see that, yeah, there is very little detail, and the noise is also there, not that strong, but because there is almost no detail. So, but on the other hand, it is not totally wrong, because this is, as I said also in the video, this is not a night vision camera, right? So when it's very dark, I think it makes sense that it's not kind of creating artificial images light, a little bit like instead the Insta360 does with the Ace Pro 2. So you always need a bit of light to have a good imaging. What I didn't use, I was with the gimbal, what I didn't use, but in that kind of situation, especially if you do some vlogging or talk about in front of the camera, is to use the light that is on the GoPro gimbal, or even the light that I purchased, but it's on the way, the light that I will put on the media mode. So I think there is still I have still to test a little bit the night mode without gimbal, but if you leave the night mode shutter speed in automatic, if you put the Hypersmooth boost 25 frames per second, it is a quite nice and decent video. So I do believe probably would be nicer. Maybe what I didn't do is the really much is to use the camera without the gimbal, with automatic shutter speed and log 2, which probably would be the best. The other thing that I notice is that indeed when there is no really HDR algorithm there, because if I have a light on the back and the camera is facing my I'm facing the camera, my face gets pretty dark. So, but there I believe if you do with the log, I didn't do it, but if you use the log, then you can increase a bit the shadow, and I believe you will not see that dark face anymore. Again, if I use the D-log, you see that it's getting a little bit darker than without, just a tiny bit, which is more realistic, because also the GoPro with the cinematic color have the tendency to put a little bit more light. So, but you can play again with the tones, with the brightness, with the highlight, with the shadow, a little bit like you do with photography. So I think that would be the way to go. To make really good low light night videos is to go with the log 2 LUT, technical LUT from GoPro, make some adjustment here and there, and then that's perfect. But overall I'm quite happy with the result. Well, very happy, I would say. But as I said before, it is not camera that you just shoot and post. It takes some work, but that's the fun of it. That's why I went for the Mission 1 Pro, because I want to learn about video editing, and the only way to do it is do like this. And I want to give a bit of not only the light, but also during a normal day, I want to give a little bit of my touch to the video, like I do with my photography, and not have the touch of an Insta360 software engineer that decided that that's the kind of image that you have to have. You know, it's okay. I have it, the S Pro 2, and I enjoy using it. But after a little bit, I got tired of that, and now instead I wanna play a bit around more by myself. So to me, to conclude, it's a very good action camera. The low light is very good. It takes a bit of effort to produce something that is very good, but that is the fun of it, that is the pleasure of it. And yes, maybe it is not a camera for everybody. So who criticize the Mission 1 Pro, I think they were looking for another type of camera, not for this one. It's like a little bit mirrorless and just point and shoot camera, as I said before. There are two different tools, two different gear. So if I want to have a camera that just go and shoot and post immediately after, yeah, if I buy I don't know, a Fuji X-T5, you know, that's not really a good camera for me. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. I will keep testing, keep trying, keep learning, and as soon as I have something interesting that I want to keep memory of, I will post it in here.